Joe Bergamini, on the 103rd episode of the Broadway Drumming 101 podcast.
I didn't actually know that when the police, if you read the Stewart Copeland book I did, as the police got bigger, according to Stewart, Sting would come to the recording sessions as it became apparent that he was a genius songwriter that could write hits. He would arrive at the recording session with songs, future hits, that he had not divulged to Stewart and Andy Summers. And so they would learn them in the studio. I didn't know this. Like when they were in Montserrat recording Ghost in the Machine, like every little thing she does is magic. He made up the part in the studio when they recorded it, like, so Stewart said, like, what? People ask me, why don't you play those couple of fills, like those iconic fills? Why don't you play them live? And Stewart's like, when you hear me on that album, I just made that stuff up 5 minutes ago. I think with a guy like him, or a guy like Cobham, or a guy like Gadd, you're not going to get the exact part. It's funny because Stewart, I was working with Stewart, you mentioned him very insightfully. They became buddies that when their bands were both huge in the 80s. And Stewart went to the Rush concert and he was like watching all these people air drum. And he's like, oh my God, like he's hanging out with Neil after. He's like, all those people like freaking out over your drum parts. And they seem to know the play, and I want that. And he said, well, Neil said, well, I make up an orchestrated part and I play it the same way every night. And so it's part of the song. It's the best I can do, and I try to reproduce it every night for it. So he's like, you play it the same way every night? He's like, yeah. So it's like, all right, I'm out. I don't need that.
Subscribe to Broadway Drumming 101 today.